login page, and that's here. So I can do vim, and I can do login.php. Okay. And I'm going to start writing PHP code. Okay. So up here, I'm going to type PHP. Okay. And I'm going to do something interesting. I'm going to do session start. Okay. Are we all good? And let's have a say 1 second. Is it session start? I want to check. Yes, it is session start. And I'm going to copy this code. I'm going to show you the code in a second for connecting to the database. So I'm going to have this code here. I'm going to show it to you, and you can copy it because it's very like repetitive. It's something that we use a lot. So I'm going to have like a comment here, connect to database. And we don't need these. And it's going to be here. Okay. So that's, can you see this? Let's actually add some numbers. And I'm going to add the actual username of my database. So it's, in this case, it is, I believe it was MySQL. Let's actually check. So copy this code for now. And let me open another terminal, a new window. So that's our code to connect to the database. So MySQL and my user, what's my user name? It just connects with anything. So how do we show the username in MySQL? I think there's something like this, user. You have an error. No, that's not how you do it. Let's see if this does actually connect. Localhost username. I'll try to find this. XAMPP default. What's the default? So just root, I think. Root and without a password. I believe now if we save this and we can go to the login page. So this is our login. If we refresh. So what are we getting, I think? Okay, because we have debugging disabled. How do we? Okay, so we need to enable debugging. Let's do this. Flag remote enable. Okay, so to enable debugging, we'll have to, I think we'll have to install something, which is not what we want. PHP show errors, patchy. No, that's not the page. Sorry. Okay, can you, did everyone like copy this for now? That's how like we add the username, we add the password, we add the database name, and we add the server name. Okay, and we connect to it. So that's how we, that's the function we use, MySQL I underscore connect, and then we pass in all of these things. And then if there's no connection, then we're gonna throw an error and give it that MySQL error. Okay. Now there's an error obviously because let's try the database. So it's like test. That's a valid database. We refresh. Yeah, we can see our login form. And so the credentials are correct, but the database was missing. But I still don't know why we don't see errors when they exist. So we can refresh this again. Like when there's an error, we don't see it. And that's a PHP thing. How can we enable that? Okay. Okay, so there is, I think, 2 functions. I know this is something that we write in here. Let's see. So let's make an error here. Add an error here, like this, and refresh. Okay, so now we can see our errors. Yeah, okay. So I just added these 2 lines so we can have some sort of error validation while we're working on this. Are we all good? Now we want to we do this function. It's called session start, so that, let me show you. We can now, if we refresh this, if I look here and I go under application and I go all the way to the storage and I look here, I can see this. Okay, I have a cookie, and a cookie allows PHP to track me and know that this is me, I'm this user. Okay, so now this cookie is going to persist, and every request I'm going to send that token, that ID, because by default PHP, like every request you're a new person. Okay, like it doesn't know who's sending this request. So using that kind of token, that by giving you a special key that you keep sending to it every time, and that key is secret, like nobody should have this key, otherwise they would be able to impersonate you and become like tell PHP that they're the same person as you. So using that key, I'm able to create like sessions or create different users have different experiences when they visit the website. So like when when you go to facebook.com, that's the same page, but when you open it yourself, because you have some kind of identifier attached to you, it's gonna know that it's you and it's gonna show you your profile. And someone else visiting the same page, facebook.com, they're gonna send a different identifier, and that's how facebook.com is gonna send them a different page. So same page but different result or response based on this session. So let's see. Okay, so let's like everyone copied this part, like added this. Now we just connecting to the database, and then we're starting a session so that the different logins that we do are attributed to different users. Okay. So like not everyone's seeing the same page. So let's do this. When someone posts, okay, so when someone posts a login, let's say that login becomes associated with their session. Okay, so instead of like presenting the one we had before, you submitted this data. No, I want to add that username and that data to the session. So I'm going to do something like this. Session username is going to be equal to, let's actually first we can do, because we're going to be using these two a lot. Or we can, I mean, okay, we can. Okay, let's not do that. Let's just like keep it here. So I'm going to do post username and here we're going to do the same thing for the password. So password is going to be session.password. Oops. Okay, so the very first time you you log in, it's going to set your username and password in the session. So it's something that's trackable, that's repeatable every time, and it's going to store them in that session. So now the subsequent requests to the same page are going to know who you are. So let's do something like p, and like it's going to say hello, you are, and like we can do that if we can do like if session. So if session, so is set session ID, maybe you can give it an ID, but I think there's a better way to do this. So I mean, okay, so that's how we're gonna do it. Okay, so if session is set username, then we're going, and this is not PHP, so let's do this here. Okay, so if it is set, then we're gonna say, oops, okay, so here we're gonna say echo. We're gonna say echo hello, you are, and we have the user here. So that user is going to be a that same session, like user from the session. Okay, and then we're going to add that, close that here. And that's it. So now what we have done is we created some sense of like persistence on the site. So now if I refresh this, let's actually, okay, so let's log in here. There's some error, obviously. Okay, we have a session, but why are we not seeing any? Okay, I think it's a parsing error, so can find this here. I think isSet is a function, right? Yes. So undefined array key, that's something else. But now if I log in now, if I do something like now, because we are in session, let's add my name, some password. If I log in, so now it knows that this is my name because it's now tracked in this session. Okay, so if I go like if I go in a different page and I do this, it knows, it still remembers me, even though like I didn't supply the name here. But if I happen to delete this cookie, so if I come here and say like delete, what's happening? I think it just, I think again it's running out of memory. Maybe Firefox is eating too much from. Okay, it just responded. So if I delete this cookie and then I refresh or re-request the page, then it should not, like it has nothing to identify me, so it doesn't know who I am, and there's no session, and it's not going to give me my name. So that cookie is used to track me and give me that data, provide me with that session. And I know why this page is now it's not responding now. But like, did everyone wrote this code here? Do you have it? Wait, what's this? Okay, so do we have this? Because now we can use that session. Ideally, we shouldn't provide the password, but we're going to use it to log in to that as a user. Something is not working for me, but yes, it was exactly not working. Let's look at this. Okay, this is okay. Let's actually close this. Quit. Top. Okay, we just keep getting close to no memory. I don't know why it's. Maybe there's a memory leak somewhere, or maybe Zamb is. It shouldn't happen. I think 5 gigs is more than enough. Okay, so here, that's what we're doing. Let's keep it here for a while. The page is not loading well. So what do you mean? What's exactly the issue you're facing? Probably code. Okay. Is it working for everyone else, or is Timothy, Rashad? I think Rashad gave up. Rahaf, is it working for you? You trying to figure it out? I think I'm not sure. I think was it too fast or still trying? Okay. So let me show this part. Do we need this okay, the database connection thing part, is it done, or like are we good with that one? Kind of fast, yeah. Yeah, my bad. I'm trying to catch up. So okay, the database connection part, is it good? Should I keep this one up or the other one, the session? Okay, I'll keep the database connection part, and let's for now. So like, okay, let's actually give 5 minutes so everyone can catch up on this. Okay. Okay, so did everyone catch up? Are we kind of good? Because now we're going to create the database, so, or the table in our database, in our test database. So if we go here, I want to clear this. I'm going to do MySQL, okay? And I'm going to, can we actually create a new database? So create database, login, or my, let's call it something like my database. Okay, semicolon, access denied to database, my database. I cannot do that. I think because I'm not root, right? You root, create database, my database. You have an error in your, oops. Okay, we created that. So now I can do show databases. And we have one here called my database, okay? So now that I have this database, I want to create a table, and I'm going to call it users, okay? And this table is going to contain my like username and password and that kind of thing. So it's going to have, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to add username, and this is going to be a variable character. That's how we define it in MySQL, of 105, size 105. Then I'm going to add a comment. I'm going to have a password. We can't hear you if you're trying to speak. Your mic is muffled. And then we're going to have this, okay? And then that's it, I believe, for our table. Okay, are we good? And I have a typo all the way at the beginning. Can we get there? So if we go up, oops, I have a typo at the create. Okay, I have to come here and fix it, create table. Okay, no database selected, so I have to select my database by use my database, okay? And then I can do create table, enter, and here we go. Now if I do show tables, I can see that I have this table in my database. It's called users, and if we look at it, so if I do select all from users, right now we can see nothing, but if I say show users, I think, how can we, there's like a command to show the schema, view schema, I believe. So view table schema MySQL to like see the structure of the table. Okay, it's okay, I remember. Describe. So we can type describe users, and here we go. We can see the structure of our table. It contains a username and a password, and that's the type of each field. Are we good? Still trying to fix mine. Yup, okay. So now that we've created our table, now we can connect to it and add stuff to it and edit stuff in it using our login form in PHP. Okay. So I want to say that let's actually add them. So I'm going to add them manually. Why did select? Okay, so select from all from users. It's gonna, like, it's working on the data inside the table, and right now there's no data inside, so it's gonna return nothing, empty set. But if you want to look at the structure of the table, how it looks like, or like the, yeah, like the fields, the type of these fields, that kind of thing, you use the describe keyword. So you describe and then the name of the table, and it's gonna tell you how it looks like, how it should look like. But these are not data. These are just a description of how it looks like. Okay. So select did actually work, and it returned nothing as it should do. So right now, let's say, okay, let's say something. Do we need to, okay, so if I go here, my website.com/login.php, okay, undefined array key username, we can look at this in a second. But now I want users, when they log in, I want to compare, or like I want to see if they exist in my database, okay? And right now I have nothing in my database, so I'm going to do something. I'm going to insert into users, okay? I'm going to insert the first user, so it's going to be admin, okay? And the password is going to be a hash. It's not going to be like a plain text password. So let's generate a hash. So I think we can do MD5 sum, and we can do something like this. Pass. Here we go. So this is taking this word, and it is generating a hash out of it. Let's actually do this. Let's like printf and pass, and I'm gonna pipe that into MD5 sum the other way around, because I think this one has a new line. So we need to be very precise when we're hashing. We have to make sure that exactly what we're piping in or what we're sending in is getting hashed. Only these 4 characters, no like new lines or spaces or anything. Because as you see, the hashes are gonna look completely different. So hashes allow us there, now that's cryptography, but they allow us to compare the actual password without, or knowing whether a password is correct or not, without storing the actual password in the database. So this is what we're going to store here. And we stored the MD5 hash, which is not secure, but it does the job for us. And I think this should work. Insert. You have an error in your SQL statement. So I think we can do, so we do username, password, and then values. Yes. Okay. So you insert into, and then you put in the tables or the fields that you're inserting. So username, and then a password, and then values, and then you insert these, or you add the actual values. So is this part clear? So now if I select all from my users, I should find an entry, which is this. There's an admin, and he has this password. Let's add one more. So I'm going to add user 2, and let's give him a different password. So he's going to have a cookie, and we can take that hash, copy it, and we're populating the database manually here, but usually you'd have a tool that you use. Did that run? No, I think it didn't run. Oops. What's happening here? And oh, oops, it was aborted. So MySQL, and actually MySQL u root, and select all from users. Use my database, and then I'm gonna select all from users, and I'm gonna insert into, so the same command that we ran before, this command, and I wanna come here, and I wanna add the new hash for this user, for his password. And yes, that's it. So now if we select all from users, we have 2 users, an admin and a user 2, with 2 password hashes. And now we can try to log in through them. Okay. Which warning? Does the warning? Okay. So yeah, now we can go to our page and try to get users to log in and access that database.